He wanted people to understand who Jesus is. He wanted us to understand in this time who Jesus exactly is. And as we will be going on, you will realize who Jesus is to us and to my salvation and to your salvation. So, we would find that these records these records would be found in public records. They were there publicly. They would be found in public. Why? Why was there interest in these records? Why was Matthew stressing much emphasis in these records? There was interest in the purity of the lineage of an individual. This is what the Jew or the Hebrews really emphasize, that there should be a purity in the lineage of a particular person, particularly when you are supposed to be a priest. When you are coming to the office of a priest, they must make sure that they really know your lineage. If in any case, any man, there was a slightest admixture of blood, then he would lose the right to be called a Jew. You see, the Jews were very proud people, and therefore they were very careful in whatever they were doing. A man of and many among the men, you see, they wanted to set themselves. They wanted to show people that they were the people of God, the people who were chosen by God. I want to give an example. When Ezra wanted to restore the office of priesthood, then there's a group of people that were not allowed to be in the office of the priests because their lineage could not be traced. Because there was a it was found that their lineage was somehow broken. It was not clear where they were, and therefore their pedigree could not be traced from Aaron. And it is also said that if he married a foreign woman, at least they had to live for at least 4 generations back, is when they would be recognized as a Jew. We can see this when Ezra was reorganizing the worship of God and after the people had returned from exile. So it is very, very important for us to note why Matthew was particular in doing this. And as we will go, because this will take 2 days, and we will understand why. So why these people? Who are these people who are not allowed to assume the office of the priest? These were the children of Koz and the children of Barzillai, who were barred from the office. Let us read the book of Ezra 2 verse 62 so that we can see the great emphasis that these people had placed on someone's lineage. Elder, umepata? Ezra 2 verse 62. Elder, are we together? Ezra is
Chapter number 2, verse 62.
Yes.
These sought their listing among those who were registered by genealogy, but they were not found.
Yes.
Therefore, they were excused from the priesthood as defiled.
So the people of Goz and Basilia, they sought their names among the people, but they could not found their listing or among the genealogy. So they sought and they found their names were not registered anywhere, and therefore the genealogy list was kept by the Sanhedrins. And to us, the passage, as I've said, might not be interesting. But to the Jew, it was an impressive way of beginning a pedigree. And that is why Jesus' lineage was traced from Abraham up to the time that he was born. How was this arranged? How was this arranged? That pedigree was arranged in such a way that it was easy for them to memorize. You know, before the books could be written and things like that, you know, they were just reciting it over and over and over again. One, in a way that it was easy for them to rememorize. Number two, it was meant to prove that Jesus was the son of David. So there are two main reasons why Matthew is beginning his writing this way, or his book this way. One, he wanted people to understand the lineage of Jesus. Number two, these things were being arranged in such a way that it would be easy for people to trace, each and everyone to trace his lineage. Let me tell you, friends, our God is a God of order. Hallelujah. Our God is a God of order who wants to show us his plan of salvation. Anything that he does, it doesn't just come by chance, but it comes under the plan of God, so that God can show us how, after the fall of man, he had planned to redeem us. There are three stages here, which are symbolic for the whole human life. There are three things that you realize in this passage. A passage that has got only a list of names of people. One, it is a history down from Abraham to David. You realize that in this text that we have just chosen, that is Matthew chapter 1, verse 1 to 17, I want you to go with me together and you will realize how this is arranged. Matthew 1, chapter 1, verse 1 to 17 is arranged in three stages. The first stage is from Abraham to David. The first section takes history down to David. And David is the man who made the Israel kingdom strong, to be recognized, made it to be a nation that was recognized. He made it to be a power in the world. The first section also takes history, the story to the rise of Israel's greatest king. What was the purpose? Why? You see, to the Jew, if you mention David, that is their moment of greatness. is the one who made the kingdom of Israel impact. It was a superpower of the world at that time. We'll come to that later. Number two, it takes history down from David to the time of exile. It is this section which tells of Israel's shame. So when you read this, you'll find that the first generation is mentioned from Abraham to David, then from David to the time of exile. And at the time of exile, it is telling us the period of shame of the Israel kingdom and the period of tragedy and the period of disaster. And then, number three, it takes the story down to Jesus Christ from the time of exile up to the time of Jesus. And what does that mean? Jesus is the person who liberated men from their slavery. He is the person who rescued men from their disaster, and in whom the tragedy was turned into triumph. So, my brothers and sisters, as we read the book of Matthew 1, chapter 1, verse 1 to 17, there are key things there that you will realize. And I think when they start tomorrow, you realize that there are certain names that are mentioned there. The name of Perez and Tamar is mentioned there. The name of Rahab and Rahab is also mentioned there. The name of Ruth is also mentioned there. And we will come to realize why that name is being